so much. But I did go out because a friend of mine was playing the drums, and I never actually saw him playing the drums. And he's in town at the moment. Actually, I wanted to show you a video if it's okay.
Absolutely, show him. In fact, the YouTube family is on. We can see together.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Let's see if I can manage to do this one. Oh, oh,
Can just change the orientation for us.
yeah.
See your friend. It already sounds so good.
Okay, come on, come on. Oh.
It sounds so good, sounds so good. Ah, yes. Is the man in white, is it?
Yeah, yeah. So the man in white to your left or right, I don't know, at the drums, that's my friend
Yeah,
Daniel. He's awesome. And they're really going at it here.
they
So,
really are.
so that was,
Wow.
that was the pretext to go out, to mostly see my friend. And then, one thing that I was reminded of as I was trying
Yeah.
to kind of hide, from the crowd, I kind of, sat in front of the band, and then I was playing this egg instrument. I think it's called the egg, but it's like a little egg. Inside there are some little balls, so you can go or something like that.
Ah,
I was reminded of a time in my life when I was 28, 27, 28. I was, yeah, in a pretty serious relationship, but I was having a hard time as well. And I sort of started to realize that, there was something difficult about me living in the world at an emotional level. It was really just the beginning of me sort of touching ground with my heavy experiences of loss and in childhood. So trauma, really. And,
yeah.
and I started to play drums, taiko, the
Ah,
Japanese drums. And I did so
wow.
because I knew at that time that I couldn't keep the beat. I really had
Mm,
problems, and to this day, I have issues with time in general. My relationship to time is difficult because um, when when you are traumatized, your fight and flight system is activated, and that impacts your working memory, and your working memory is what you mostly rely on to keep track of time. But there is another component to it, and that is that in terms of us feeling tempo or rhythm, it really is a relational and emotional issue. So it's not so much of a cognitive issue, but it's a relational emotional issue. And that too gets affected by the fight and flight system. And when you are relaxed, you are much more able to sense the other, the vibe of a group, let's say. And when your brain is always looking for danger around, of course you can't relax into the present moment. Our ability to sink into the present moment is cut off, basically, right? And we are
mm.
split as traumatized people. So anyway, I went to play drums with kind of the intuition that this would help me heal something, and it did. So yesterday I was recalling all of this as I was in front of the band, and I picked up an egg, and actually
Yeah.
we have a little video of me playing the egg, and
Yeah,
and that
let's
was
share
really.
it.
So here the singer changed. There was a singer actually, and the band had a little change. But yeah, it was. I played this little instrument for about an hour, and then the exercise, and it's something I would recommend anybody, anybody who wants to heal from trauma, and you can do it like in your own little sphere. Bring your little egg if you go to a concert like that, and try to feel the beat.
Mm,
The thing about beat is that you have a drummer who is essentially symbolic of the tempo, right? And it's like we have this from, if you don't really pay attention, you have a sense that the beat is very regular, but in reality the beat is always a little bit off to the left
mm,
or to the right of what it would be if it was a machine, right? And so when you're playing an instrument, you really need to feel these small variations to the left or to the right. because the pulse kind of determines the energy that there is in in that moment. And so being able to sync whatever little instrument, you could even take a pen and just beat the pen on the table, or anything, but trying to keep the tempo, not by hearing and thinking about the tempo, but by closing your eyes and feeling the tempo and the rhythm hitting your body, and your body processing that. At some level, there is no processing of that rhythm when you are in the present moment. And so that's what I was trying to get back in tune yesterday with. And it was really wonderful because I know what I'm doing now. There was still a moment of transition, between me just thinking about the rhythm and me feeling the rhythm. But because I've done this so many times, then I was able to easily sink into that moment. And then there is this sense that you are kind of one with what's happening. And for a traumatized person, and that's why meditation can feel so upsetting to many traumatized people. For a traumatized person to sink into the oneness that we can feel with others, where your ego kind of disappears, is very scary. Is very scary because you have learned as a child or as a very young man that the only thing that keeps you alive is your ego.
Mm-hmm.
And the ego is your thinking structure. So your amygdala is in fight and flight, and your ego is always sensing around for danger. So to reduce that activity is dangerous for the mind. But of course, trauma is mostly about perceived threats than it is about a present threat. Yeah. So really deep topic. I hope we can come back to it one day. Maybe I'll invite my friend on the show to talk about rhythm more. And of course, Africa. Oh my God! If we bring on the subject of rhythm, then there is definitely so much to talk about. How generally speaking, like rhythm in Africa, it just is almost like a one word together, right? And everything
Absolutely.
essentially every rhythm almost essentially can be reconduced to the roots of Africa, right? If I understand well. So there you go. It was a nice way to finish the week. Anyway, we've gone a really long way into this subject. I wasn't planning to, but I'm happy to share some of these insights that I get live, in my life sometimes. They might be useful to some. So let's get on with business today. The program is called All About Trauma. So, Renee, you have learned over the 15 lives that we have done so far that trauma has all sorts of facets to itself, right?
Yeah.
It's a deep and wide topic. And we have been covering the ACE test, the Adverse Childhood Experiences test. It's a set of 10 questions, as I remind my viewers every week. And it's a questionnaire that allows you to basically assess how much of trauma you might be carrying with you. You can actually scan the little QR code, Renee, on the left-hand side there, and go to the test and take it. It's a very rudimentary, crude sort of website page, nothing automatized, but you'll be able to count the yeses and to have a score for yourself. You can email me that score, and then we can discuss it a little bit. If you're interested in finding out more and get in touch with me and so on. But Renee, would you like to introduce the question of today?
Absolutely. This being the question number 6, we were very fortunate to conclude the question number 5 yesterday, last live. The last 2 lives we covered question number 5. Now on to number 6. Let me just read it out for us. It reads that often or very often I felt that I didn't have enough to eat, had to wear dirty clothes, and had no one to protect me. Or B, my parents were too drunk or high to take care of me or take me to the doctor if I needed it.
Yeah. What are
This
you reading in this question, Renee? What is your interpretation of the question from a naive perspective?
absolutely, I think this definitely sounds like neglect. This sounds like neglect, like question number 5, but
Why?
not. Uh, it feels like neglect, but a different kind, because I'm reading. It didn't have. I didn't have enough to eat and had to wear dirty clothes. So that feels that their human need to have hygiene, not even human need. As a child, most children can't cleanse after themselves. We even covered that in the last episodes. When they are left with a soiled nappy, when they go out to play and they can't clean up themselves, even after they try and feed themselves, their refuse and all that, they can't clean up themselves. So that already shows like neglect. Also, they can't protect themselves when it comes to not even just external threats, even against the knife that is just lingering on the, on the nearby stool. It's an open blade. No one has pointed them to it, but they need protection from that. They also need protection from, sockets. That's also neglect.
And
And
water.
getting question the part B, whereby my parents were too drunk and had to take care of me. That's also neglect, whereby the parents aren't conscious when it comes to soberness, and also conscious when it comes to presence, to understand their need of they're too drunk to notice that I haven't fed my child, I haven't cleaned my child, I haven't protected my child. Where they are right now, are they in a spot whereby there's an open blaze, where there are open fires? And yeah, I feel this is why this neglect.
Yeah, yeah, I accept that. Why do you think these A and B are together in the same slide? There's no right or wrong answer here. I'm just teasing you and asking you to think for yourself.
Yeah, I think the reason why they're together is just from reading question the part A. I didn't have enough to eat. I didn't wear dirty clothes. I have no one to protect me. The first thing we wonder is, where are these guardians? Are they alive? Are they dead? Are they busy? Where are these? There's someone responsible to do this as a child. There's someone responsible to take care of this. Where are they? So if you see a child who's dirty, if I see a child who has not is malnourished, if I see a child who is out very vulnerable, the immediate thing is, who is responsible? Because there has to be someone responsible. So I think that's where it comes to number question B, is that, oh, this person is too drunk, is too intoxicated, and too high to address these needs and even recognize them. So I think that's the correlation, whereby reading the first one, we all get to wonder, then where are they? You don't have enough to eat. Someone is given this task and allocated this task. Where are they? Are they dead? Are they uh, busy? Are they what? Where are they? So question B, I see, oh, they're too intoxicated.
Yeah, I like that. I like that suggestion. So in a way, what you're saying is that it's almost like the part B is answering the question of part A. And I like how
Yeah,
you put it, that this, not having enough food, or being dirty, or being around dangerous things, like for example children maybe playing by a river that is very dangerous, that everybody knows is very dangerous, or you know children being unsupervised in places where there is high risks. That's a way of interpreting no one to protect me there. And then you wonder, who should be responsible for supervising these children? These freaking children are so precious, right? They are the future of us. Where are the people that should be ensuring that the life of these children continues in a healthy way? And then the answer comes with, oh, these parents are somewhat not present because they are intoxicated. What is it about being intoxicated, Renee, that makes it that it's difficult to be there, um, or to be responsible? What is your story saying?
I think the issue of being intoxicated is that you are unaware. Most people, when they're intoxicated, they have numbed their own consciousness and alertness to maybe their own needs, and also the needs of others. Because I can imagine someone who is intoxicated, especially highly intoxicated, they can fumble around. They don't understand even their motor needs. They need to walk straight line. They can't do that. They can't address that need. Even walking that simple task, they need to get to express themselves and speak in a certain way. They can't even address their communication needs. You're trying to talk to them. Not only can't they hear what you're saying for what it is, they can't respond. That's why when you talk to someone who is drug intoxicated, they can't express themselves. They might try and hear, but they can't express themselves. So the thing about being intoxicated and relating with this situation, I would say, is that it makes them incapacitated to deal with their own needs, maybe even trying to suppress their own needs. Because not only most of them, I would say maybe most of these parents, from even the situations I can think from the top of my head, most of these parents are intoxicated because they feel some sort of stress of the the awareness of all these needs, the awareness that maybe I'm unable to afford to cater for my child as much as I would want and be present. So I want to numb that pain. And in that sense, it also numbs the need and the capacity to even give the little that you have. So I think
Absolutely. I think you make a beautiful description. Sorry, I just noticed the light came off here. People take drugs in a sense to escape reality, right?
yeah,
What's most disturbing about reality is that it reminds you of pain that you have experienced very early on in childhood and that you cannot confront. And we could say you don't want to confront, but before not wanting to confront, you basically cannot confront it. Your whole system is protecting you from confronting it. So these parents are coming from a traumatic background. There is that famous split that we talk about in trauma, right?
yeah,
And when you split off, it's the first mechanism by which you numb yourself. But then that mechanism takes more and more and more and more and more energy to maintain as you grow older, as you grow up. And so then drugs come in and you start to walk away from yourself. It's basically like, you know, it's like, I'm here, right? I'm
yeah,
here. Hey, Renee, talk to me. I'm here. I love
yeah,
you. Look, I'm here. Can't you see me? Yeah. So it's that sense that there is somebody there, but like your physical experience is not really giving that feedback, right? So let's do it again. If I'm your parent, I'm telling you, Renee, come and hug me.
and I can't see you. I can't
I'm
see where
here.
you
I'm
are. I
here.
can't
Can't you
connect.
see me? Come
I
on,
can't see you.
right?
You,
So
where's that?
and that's kind of the feeling most children will get out of a parent that is numbed, or that has escaped into whatever it is, whether it's a um, excitatory drug or numbing drug, ecstasy or alcohol, right? They are kind of opposite effects, but they have the same effect of taking you away from this reality. So you're very right that if the first bit of the question here, A, is about who is responsible, where are the people that are responsible here, and question B is about finding a parent that is not able to be responsible, then yes, drug abuse and states that are induced by drugs are definitely a way in which we deny that sense of responsibility. And I love how you made it clear that that sense of responsibility is somehow connected to the relationship to themselves as well. A person who wants to communicate and walk straight, they can't do it. It's almost like I'm out of the screen and I see you, but I cannot come into the screen. I cannot come here. I cannot. That's trauma. So yeah, beautiful relationship there. Very much agree. I know we're coming towards the end of time, and I think there's
Yeah,
something to think about that we're leaving the audience with. So we haven't covered much. We could talk more about it, but I feel there's something important that has been said. I want to let everybody know that on Wednesday, the coming Wednesday, there is going to be a longer live, Renee, right?
yeah, yes, absolutely. And we'll be joined by a special guest. I can't wait to have them on.
Yeah, special guest, friend of mine also. Of course, I'm going to bring all the friends that I have that are relevant to this program to begin with before we reach out, to more guests, perhaps further from our networks. And by all means, if you find this program interesting and you feel like you have something to contribute, please do reach out to us. But the guest we'll have on Wednesday has an incredible story to share with us, and one live will not be enough, but we'll have a beautiful chance to start to dive a little bit into the story of this being and how he emerged out of it. Really, the hero story
Yeah.
par excellence. So I look forward to see everybody. Renee, it was wonderful to pick your brain today.
Yes, and just share introduce the question so that in the next level we'll be able to dissect it. The next episode we're able to get into it. I think everyone will have will be on the same page of understanding it, even get to share and get to relate when we are able to also connect with what we have been learning for the last, like you said, 15 weeks and just tie it all together beautifully. So maybe even Jay, the live we'll have on Wednesday will also bring this to light. I'm for sure it will. And everybody should look forward to getting in touch on that live. Of course, you will get a notification every time we go live when you subscribe and hit the notification bell. We really appreciate if you do. Stay connected. You will have a great reservoir of materials. And even as we bring on these guests, as you support us, we really appreciate how we have this conversation. So thank you again,
Yeah,
Nicholas,
if you
for
think you
just
buy us
introducing.
coffee, we won't mind
Yeah.
it. We will not drink all the coffee at once. We'll we'll do it over the week, but your support is very much appreciated. Um, yeah, thank you,
Absolutely.
Renee. See you on
Thank you,
Wednesday.
Nicholas, for joining me. And until our next live, our special live, 1 hour long live, we look forward to getting in touch with everyone. So thank you, guys. Bye bye.